company. It all began with a shakedown in the summer of 2017 when Hunter Biden sent a message to his CEFC associate demanding a $10 million capital payment. As Hunter Biden extorted this associate, Hunter claimed he was sitting with his father and that the Biden network would turn on his associate if he didn't pony up the money. The extortion scheme worked. Days later, $5 million flowed in from a Chinese affiliate of CEFC. Over the following 3 weeks, Biden family members made a series of complicated financial transactions to hide the source of the China money.
This is the second personal check to Joe Biden that Comer's committee has uncovered so far. Earlier this month, they found a $200,000 check sent from James to Joe Biden. The check to Joe was sent on the same day that James received a $200,000 transfer from troubled rural hospital company AmeriCorps by pledging to use his political connections to secure a Middle East investor. More sketchy Biden foreign business dealings. FBI Director Christopher Wray on Capitol Hill this week, taking a much-needed break from terrorizing President Trump and his supporters to talk about real terrorism and terrorists, Hamas. Wray issued a warning in his threats to the Homeland Senate testimony, warning that Hamas and other foreign terrorist organizations could use the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict as a pretext to conduct attacks here in America.
But as I said a few moments ago, on top of the homegrown violent extremist and domestic violent extremist threat, we also cannot and do not discount the possibility that Hamas or another foreign terrorist organization may exploit the current conflict to conduct attacks here on our own soil. We have kept our sights on Hamas and have multiple ongoing investigations into individuals affiliated with that foreign terrorist organization.
It's nice to see the FBI director addressing real terrorist threats, not some folks who just protested a rigged election or parents and grandparents defending their students at a school board meeting. In a new analysis by the New York Post, billionaire and Marxist-Dem mega donor George Soros has reportedly given more than $15 million to anti-Israel, pro-Hamas protest organizations since 2016. As I said yesterday, Soros is the root of much of the evil in American politics and much of the world as well. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, and now probably America's second most investigated behind President Trump, was on a podcast this week with Joe Rogan. Elon calling out Soros for what he is. He said Soros fundamentally hates humanity and is doing all he can to destroy Western civilization.
In my opinion, he fundamentally hates humanity. That's my opinion.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, well, he's doing things that erode the fabric of civilization. You know, getting DAs elected who refuse to prosecute crime. That's part of the problem in San Francisco and LA and much other cities. So why would you do that?
Was it humanity or is it just the United States as a whole? I mean, he's
pushing things in other countries too.
He's doing the same thing?
Yeah. Now, George at this point is pretty old. I mean, he's not, he's basically a bit senile at this point. But I mean, he's very smart, and he's very good at arbitrage. You know, famously he shorted the British pound. That's sort of how I think he made his first money, was shorting the pound. So he's good at spotting. Basically, arbitrage, like spotting value for money that other people don't see. So one of the things he noticed was that that the value for money in local races is much higher than it is in national races. So the lowest value for money is a presidential race. Then next lowest value for money is a Senate race, then a Congress, and but once you get to sort of city and state district attorneys, the value for money is extremely good. And Soros realized that you don't actually need to change the laws, you just need to change how they're enforced. If nobody chooses to enforce the law, or the laws are differentially enforced, it's like changing the laws.
Welcome to the fight, Elon Musk. And joining us now, a man who stays in the fight, the CEO of Our Country, Our Choice, Colonel Doug Macgregor. Doug, great to have you with us here. I want to first get your assessment where the conflict is right now in Gaza and its implications.
Well, I think we're at the beginning of what could potentially be a regional war. For the moment, Israel is focused primarily on Hamas and annihilating it. And sadly, it sounds like the population of Gaza along with it. And at the same time, they've harnessed us to protect their northern border in the event that Hezbollah attacks. So that far in advance, the Israelis have thought. But in truth, it's growing very rapidly into a regional conflict. The Turks, the Iranians, all of the Muslim Arab states, reaching into North Africa, of course, with Egypt. In fact, I would argue that all the Muslim states from Morocco to Indonesia are upset with what the Israelis are doing in Gaza because they see it as disproportionate, and they also see it as a collective punishment. And they don't particularly care for that. And I think that they're reaching the point where they're willing to take action collectively against Israel.
I don't know that the nations that you just mentioned, the Muslim nations, their militaries don't really add up to much in terms of if the United States is supporting Israel. And I want to take that question up with you. Just to what degree is this administration supporting Israel? But against the firepower of just, say, the Eisenhower and Gerald Ford carrier strike groups, that's a lot of power, as you well know. And I understand that amongst those nations, Turkey has the strongest military.
Well, it's actually more than Turkey. I think we grossly underestimate Iran. Mm-hmm. Iran has an enormous arsenal of very sophisticated and accurate theater and tactical ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and also unmanned systems or drones. All of their theater ballistic missiles have a range of about 1,200 miles. This means that all of Israel is literally within the range of their forces. They don't have much of a ground force, but they do have Shiite militias all over Iraq and Syria that are obviously poised to contribute as needed and obviously to attack us. I think Turkey is probably the 500